Here we go. Now we are on the roll and have recording going. I am going to try to rename myself. How do I do that? So you don't think I'm just a life coach. So you actually know my name. Rename. Here we go. Here we go. Oh, I spell it with a double N. Shoo-hoo, here we are. Now I have my proper name and everything. So good. Okay. So we are very close to being on the hour. So we are gonna try to get started. Who's excited? I am excited. I will change my name again because I will also put my title in. I am a life coach. I would say I'm even a life slash, how do you spell that? I'm even a life slash business coach. There we go. Now everything is so cool. Woohoo. Okay, let's go. Now it's actually on the hour. So we are going to start. It will be absolutely fantastic. Welcome, lovely, lovely people. It's so great to see you all here. It's fantastic that it's so many of you because we just love the Life Coach University, don't we? Because there is so much happening here. I don't know if you came in just through my link, like straight into the scheduler, or if you've actually been up on the Life Coach University website. So before I introduce myself more properly, I will just tell you that the Life Coach University is a pay it forward platform. It's a pay it forward platform. So we, the coaches that coach here, what we do is that we come with our content and everything we want to teach the world, and we do it for free. And the only thing we ask of you in return is that you pay it forward to someone. And that can look so different. It can be telling people about the Life Coach University, of course, that's pretty obvious, but it can also be like any way, shape, or form that you feel is proper when it comes to you and your life and your engagements with other people. So that's the only thing we ask in return of you. And I also want to encourage you to go up on the Life Coach. It's lifecoachuniversity.com and check out all of the other amazing topics that my colleagues coach on, because there is quite a lot coming up. So do that. Remember to do that after this. But today, we're going to focus on how to become your own best mentor. And this is one of my favorite topics because I teach it in my program. So who am I? I am Anna Wallner, and I am a business coach and life coach for women entrepreneurs, primarily Swedish entrepreneurs, because I coach mostly in Swedish. Not only, I have international clients as well, but that is my focus. So I help them to get over the obstacles of creating their own vision that they want to create, that then they see for themselves and their businesses and their lives. So that's what I do. And how to become your own best mentor is a big piece of that puzzle. So that is what I'm teaching my clients. So today I am going to teach it to you, because this is going to be quite an interactive, almost workshop-like session So we are going to have so much fun. And the reason why I want to do this, excuse me, in this way is because I want you to start working on becoming your own best mentor. And to do that, I think the absolute best way to do that is to actually get started. So we're going to do some exercises together. We're not going to do them all here. It's not like I'm going to give you time to actually do them. You will just have to do them while we go through them. But you can definitely write them down so you can do them later on. So the reason why I want to teach you this, why would you even want to be your best mentor? That is because one of the biggest obstacles we normally come across when it comes to our visions and our goals and everything we want to create is that we don't really trust ourselves and we don't believe in ourselves. And when we don't do that, we look at what's going on outside and we're looking for like something to solve it, like the right way. And we spend so much time looking everywhere else for the answer to our problem. So we're not going to waste any more time now. We are going to save time by becoming our own best mentor. So that's what we're going to do, and through the exercises. So if you have any questions while we do this, I suggest that you put the questions in the Q&A, and I will get to that Q&A later on when we're done. So we'll go through everything and then we'll do the Q&A, because otherwise I will get completely derailed. That's just the way I am. Okay, so there are some building blocks in how to become your own best mentor, but it is all based in the person you are becoming, the future you. And if you are new to this concept of future you, I can just tell you a little bit about it. Because if you look into the future, this is the future that you are becoming. This is the person that has already reached your vision. So it's super to connect with this part of you, this person, because she knows already how you got there. Isn't it nifty? So she has tried all these things. She has these experiences. So she knows in what areas you have changed, for example, and in what areas you've grown. And she thinks in a completely different way than you do. And she believes in other things than you believe in. And that's the reason why she has created the things she has created, or he. So the future you is the best person to ask when it comes to creating what you want. So that is why we will seek her or his advice when it comes to creating what we want. And we will, of course, also work on becoming that person, because otherwise it's no point, right? So this is what we're going to go through. We're going to go through, who is this person? How do we become this person? And how can we use this person to move forward? All right, that's what we're going to do. So let's start. If you don't have a pen and paper, I suggest you run and get one, because you will want to write this down. So go fetch a pen and paper if you don't have it already. So we are going to start with exercise number 1. And why we do this exercise is because we want to get to know this person. We want to know who this person is. Who is this future you? So go ahead and think about 3 people you really admire. It can be anyone. It can be a family member. It can be a friend. It can be a famous person that you've never met. It can be someone who's someone that's alive or dead. It can be anyone. Maybe it's a politician. Maybe it's I don't know, some other influencer, or maybe it's a scientist or an author or your grandma. I have no idea. But write the 3 first people you come to think about. And now when you have those 3 people, write down what you admire most about them. What qualities does these people have that you like about them? It can be anything. It can be that they have created this big legacy that you really look up to. Maybe they have gone their own way in some shape or form. Maybe they have changed the way they are as a person. Maybe they have come through huge struggles and prevailed. Maybe they've created a book series. I don't know. There's probably something that you really come to think about when you think about these people. And when you have written all of those things, summarize those qualities that you see in that person with one word. What sort of defines that person? Is that person strong, kind, funny? I don't know, empowered, brave, inspirational? You know, when you look at those people, I am sure that you will come up with some really good words, right? So by now, you should have 3 people with 3 defining quality words. And I mean quality as in what qualities they possess that you admire with them. So look at those words, because those words are things that are already in you. Cool, huh? And maybe you go like, I don't think so. But I'm sure it is, because when I do this with my clients, they very often circle around the same kind of people. And the funny thing is that they all see different things in the same person. And this is the reason why, because you can't see things in other people that you don't recognize. So the reason why you see these things with these people that you've chosen is because you recognize it in yourself. And if you don't believe me, we can try it. So I'll say a name and you will write it in the Q&A. You will write the first word that comes up for you in the Q&A. I'm just going to get the Q&A up so I can see it. So never mind, it's the Q&A. Just when I tell you the name, write the first thing you come to think of that you admire about this person. Maybe you don't even admire this person. I don't know, but most people do. She comes up quite a lot anyway when I do these kind of exercises with people. So, okay, so are you ready? Oprah Winfrey. Let's see what you come up with. Write it in the Q&A. Okay. Strong, brave, inspirational, inspiring, business person, kind, inspirational. It's a lot of inspirational going on. Daring, real comes up. Yeah. Authentic, huh? But oh, now I need to scroll. Smart, yeah. Funny. This is so much fun, huh? Business savvy. Yep, for sure. I would say so. Brave comes up again. We had that before. Yeah, so you see, it's so much fun. I can continue reading if there's more coming up. Oh yeah, here. Inspirational. Yeah. Example of what is possible. Yeah, totally agree. I think she's amazing too. So this is so much fun, huh? So when we look at this person, we all see different things in her. Of course, she has all of these things, but we wouldn't be able to see it in the same way if we didn't see it in ourselves first. So that is so much fun. I love that. Okay, so let's continue. Now we have 3 names. So now go ahead and put your name on the list. Yep, put your name on the list. And then you write what you admire about you. And at this point, a lot of people go like, no, but I don't know. Yes, you do. You definitely know. There are some things you definitely admire with yourself. I don't know what it is. Maybe you're kind. Maybe you're strong. Maybe you're funny and witty, or you like to try new things. I have no idea. But there are things, I'm sure. And then you do the same thing. You summarize it with 1 word. Okay? So now you've got these 4 words that summarize the characteristics of future you. Isn't it cool? I just love this exercise. I think it's absolutely fantastic. So I'm going to share mine just for shits and giggles. Mine are strong, determined, innovative, and brave. So now you can think about what people I have on my list. But strong, determined, innovative, and brave. Those are my 4 words. And I also want to tell you that my list of people grows every now and then, because sometimes I sit down with this exercise again and I think about more people. And do you know what I think when I think about these people? I think about them like being on my board of directors in my company. So when I'm going to take a decision, for example, since they are all what I see in them, I also see in me. So it's like I have a discussion with parts of myself when I'm going to have a decision, and I sort of take in what all of these people think about the decision I'm going to make. But it's all me anyway. But that's super fun. So next time you go back to this exercise, you can add some more people in your board of directors. It's so much fun. So let's continue. Let's get to know this person a little bit better, okay? So look at this person and take this person into 1 year from now, or 5 years from now, or 10 years from now. Who will you be in 10 years? What will you have achieved? What will you have created? What will your life be like? These are all questions we're going to answer now. Or maybe not now. Maybe you can start. But maybe you won't have time to do it now while I'm speaking, because you will get confused when I continue to ramble on. But these are the 3 questions we want to answer. Who will you be? What will you have achieved or created? And what will your life be like? So the good thing is that the number 1, who will you be? You have already answered that one in the four people exercise, haven't you? So you already know who you will be. In my case, I will be this strong, determined, innovative, and brave person. That's who I'm going to be, right? But if we go on to the second question, what will you have achieved? And if you want to work with this on a 1-year basis, or a 5-year basis, or a 10-year basis, it doesn't really matter. It depends on what you like. Because some of my clients, it's difficult for them to stretch for 10 years. That's very difficult for their mind to go that far out. And of course, it gets much better with practice. It does. But if you think that's a little bit tricky, just move it closer. Move it to 5 years or 2 years or 1 year. It doesn't really matter. But look at that time frame and see what you have created. Have you saved money? Maybe you've paid off debt. Maybe you've invested in, I don't know, shares, just a money example. Maybe you have a new job. Maybe you have started to exercise, and maybe you would consider yourself being a runner. Maybe you've lost weight, started a company. I don't know. Maybe you have an e-course that you sell. Whatever. So write about what you have done. What have you achieved? What have you created? And those of you, actually, I come to think about those of you who attended my last seminar with the Life Coach University, you already have your goals, right? Because that's what we worked on then. How to write your vision and how to reach any goal. That's what we talked about then. So you know what you have created, right? So you can just take that. So good. And then number 3 is, what will your life be like? And here I would suggest that you create like a written vision board. Now, some people go like, oh no, not a vision board. Hate vision boards. But this is like a written vision board. And there is a reason why we want to do this. I will tell you, there is a reason why we want to do this. And you can for sure do both. You can do both a written vision board, and you can take pictures and like do a more classical vision board if you like. It doesn't really matter. But the written is special because it will act differently in your mind. And how we do this is that we ask ourselves questions like, what does my day look like? What does my week look like? Have I changed any routines? Do I feel different? Do I travel maybe? Have I moved? So all of these components within your life, they will be in this written vision board. And sometimes it helps. If you think this is a little bit tricky, it helps sometimes to write like a normal diary for like, I don't know, Tuesday in 1 year. What are you doing then? It's October, right? So a Tuesday in October next year, what does your day look like? And then you can just write like, I'm going up, I'm making myself a cup of tea, I meditate for 5 minutes, I take the dogs for a walk, whatever. So that can be like, that can be a step if you think it's a little bit difficult to just wing it. Okay. So far we know who the person is, and we know what you have created, and we know what your day or your week looks like in this future you scenario. Okay, it's all coming together, right? So what we're going to do now in another exercise is that we're going to put it all together. It's so good that you will get a replay, right? Because you're like, no, we're moving too fast. But that's because we don't have forever, right? You are going to go on with your Friday. So that's super. You can watch this again and do the exercises again. So let's go on. We're going to do this exercise and put everything together. And how we're going to do that is that you are going to write a story and pretend that I have not seen you in a year or 5 years or 10 years, whatever time frame you're working with. And then you will tell me if you want to write me a letter, or if you just want to write it the way you would tell me, it doesn't really matter. But tell me what you've been up to. Tell me what you've done. Tell me how you've changed. Tell me how you feel. What is different about you? I haven't seen you for so long. So write that. And you won't have time to do all of that now, because it takes quite a while, as I said, but take it with you. Do it later, okay? So what we're doing with these exercises is that we are giving your brain an assignment to create your future. This is what we're doing. So that's why we have gone this way, to actually see exactly who this person is, what they're doing, and what they're created. Because the more time you spend with this vision, the more imprinted in your brain this assignment is going to be. Because your brain is a problem-solving machine. So whatever problem you bring to it, it will try to solve. So when you say, okay, hey, brain, this is future me. This is who we're creating. This is what we're going to do. This is how our life will look in the future. The brain goes like, okay, let's get rolling. And it starts to build this life. So that's why we want to create this base, so you can in your mind see this in front of you, because it's so much easier to create what you want when you know what that is, right? So that is the first step. Who is she or he? And now we're going to go into the next step. You ready? Let's go. So what we're going to do now is that you are going to become this person. You are going to become this person one step at a time. And now when we have done all this work, your work is to stay connected with her or him. That's your job. So when we close this hour up, don't just take your paper and put it somewhere, because then it will, I shouldn't say it won't happen, but it will take a heck of a long time for you to create that future if you just put it aside. So what you want to do is spend time with it. Like I said, imprint it in your brain so your brain knows where you're going. Okay? So there are some tricks of how to keep your future self in the loop, so to speak. And one way is, again, to write like a story about her. So you can write it, and or you can read that narrative you wrote to me, like, this is what have changed with me over the last year or 5 years or 10 years. You can take that one and read it, or you can write a completely different one. But you want to have a narrative about this person, and you want to read it quite often. What that means to you, what quite often is, that's completely up to you. But the more time you spend with it, the faster you will create it, for sure, because the faster your brain will catch on to what you're actually trying to create, which is so good. Our brains are lazy. So they need to be reminded, like, hello, this is where we're going. Come on. Like a horse. I used to have a horse. That's why I do that. So write a narrative and visit it as often as you can. And also, the words you came up with in the beginning with the 3 people and yourself, spend time with those words. And now you go like, what? You can write them on Post-its, put them up in your house or your apartment. You can put reminders on your phone if you want. And another thing you can do is that you can write emails. This is fun. I do this. You write emails, and then you have this little scheduling thingy on most email providers. So write yourself an email and make it send, sorry, like half year from now, or like once a month. You can write a letter from future you to yourself. This sounds stupid, I know. The first time I was told this by my coach, I was like, seriously? But then I did it. And the first email that arrived, I was like, shit. It is fun. It is fun to go there, and it's fun to receive them, because when you receive them, you will completely have forgotten what you wrote. And to write those things and then to read them is fascinating, to say the least. So definitely do that. You can also write a letter from your future you to your present you. You don't need to post it necessarily, because that's hard to sort of put on dispense. But you can read it. Just instead of having the narrative we talked about in the beginning, you can write a letter from your future self to your present self, and you can read that on a regular basis. And another thing that I haven't started doing yet, but that I will, was also a suggestion from a coach colleague of mine. She actually arranged with a flower shop to send her flowers every other Friday. And she had handed them like letters or like small cards with like notes on. And they had like, she had given them like 10 or something. And they chose which one to send with what flowers. So, and then she paid them. So every second week, she has a bouquet of flowers coming to her door with a note from her future self. I just love that. I'm going to do that too. I just found out this week, she told me, so I haven't been able to get around to that yet. But it's just so much fun. So you can think about how you can do that. How can you spend more time with future you? How can you become her? How can you spend time with those words that you want to embody in a year or 2 years or 5 years? Because it looks different for everyone. These are just suggestions that I come up with. But the more time you spend with this person, the faster you will become that person. So I would definitely suggest that if you want to start somewhere, I would take those 4 words and I would read them to myself several times a day. That's one of the things I would start with. And I would also write myself a letter or a story about my future self, and I would read it often. If you can read it every day, that's super. If not, that's okay. But read it as often as you can. That's my suggestion. Time flies, hey guys. I'm looking at my watch. And okay, let's continue, because now we've done who is she, becoming her or him, and now we are gonna use her or him as a mentor. And why do we want to do this? Why don't we want to have a mentor outside of us? Of course we do. That's my answer. Of course we want to have a mentor outside as well. We want to have a coach or a mentor or someone that can help us reach our goals faster. Absolutely. But that person is like a complement. You are the most important person. Why? Because no one else has the answers that you need like you do. And no one else knows where you're going like you do. And no one else knows exactly what you're trying to create. You know that best. And that's why you are also the best person to answer these questions. But you need to trust yourself, to listen to yourself and the answers that you give yourself when you ask these questions. So let me explain the difference. Because if you seek the answers outside of yourself, that normally makes us very scattered. It makes us look for something better, like all the time. It's like, oh, I could do this, or maybe this is the right way, or this is the right way, or this person knows. And especially now when we have social media, we're like, oh, this person is doing this. Maybe I should do that. Or maybe I should do this. And we start doing what everybody else is doing. And then we change gears or we change lanes. And all of this hopping about slows you down. And what also happens normally is that when you do this hopping around by looking at what everybody else is doing, you don't get much done. And then it's very easy to either blame others for what you've tried. You've tried something that someone else tried that worked for them, that doesn't work for you necessarily or didn't work for you. And then you go like, oh, that person doesn't know what they talk about. It's so much better to be able to blame it on someone else, right? Much more comfortable. Or you beat yourself up and go like, oh, I should have known better. Oh, I shouldn't have done that. Blah, blah, blah. So seeking the answers outside of yourself doesn't normally work. It slows you down. We don't want to do that. But if you instead seek the answers inside of yourself, then you can follow your own road. And you can take responsibility for what you are doing. And when you stay focused and stay in your own lane, then you will learn so much more about your journey and where you're going and all of the like learnings and experiences that you're having along the way, because you are paying attention. You're paying attention to what you're doing instead of looking at what everybody else is doing all the time. So that is why you want to look inside. You want to look for your answer. What is the next step, for example? Well, you know. If you just look inside, you will know. So I would say, when you use yourself as your own best mentor, just ask your future self, what would you do? It's that simple. And you can either have like a certain subject that you're working on, or maybe everything is just like a storm in your head. I mean, sometimes it is clear. Then the answer will just come to you and you can do it. No problem. But sometimes you have this storm going on, and then it can be a little bit tricky to see the trees for all. No, you can't see the forest because of all the trees. Is that a saying in English? It is in Swedish. I don't know if it's in English. But you probably understand what I mean. You can't see it because there are so many things in the way. So if you don't see it, if you don't see the next step, I have a solution for you. And maybe you want to write this one down. So what you do is you brainstorm. You brainstorm all the things, all the ideas, everything that's in your head that you think you should do. It will be a long list, yes, but it's okay. And then you pick one. You pick one. And then when you've picked one, you do it. That's what you do. And then when you've done it, you evaluate. What worked, what didn't work, and how will you do it differently? That is how you grow and learn, my friends. It's the best way. So brainstorm, pick one thing. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter, because your brain will say you will pick the wrong one. No, don't listen to it. Just pick one. Pick the one that feels best at the moment. And then do it and evaluate. Then you can pick another one if you want. So there is no right way to your goal. There are several ways. So you just need to trust yourself that this is the right way for you, right? Okay, now we've done all the exercises. So let's wrap up. If you have any questions, I'm looking a little bit at the side here because that's why. If you have any questions now, take your time to write it, and I'll go in there and have a look. But before we stop and do the questions, I just want to go through what we did today. So what we've done is that we have defined who future you is. Who is she or him? He. And we've done that in 4 words. 3, by the people that you have on your board of directors and 1 word coming from you, right? And we have defined also what this person has created in the future that you see. And we've also learned how to connect with this person, how to step by step connect and be that person, because that's what we want to do. We want to move closer to being that person. And by spending time with them, we will. And we've also talked about how to actually use this person as a mentor, right? So good. I love this. I love the future work, so to speak. Okay, let's see. What questions do you have for me? Oh, you are the Oprah of Sweden. That's so good. It's so cute. Thank you. I just realized I can put this in front of me here, and then I don't look like a weirdo. Okay, let's see what you have for me. I'm going to send myself flowers too. I really love this idea. Yeah, that's so good. I'm going to do that too. I'm going to set, I don't have time today, but I'm going to set it up next week for sure. Yeah, anonymous attendee. And then I'll stay in my own lane. No one gets in my way. Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. Then we have more. Do you have any more exercises? Yes, of course I do. But we can't do everything today. Maybe I will do some more exercises in another round of this. Who knows if I'm going to take this subject and run with it again. But yes, yeah, I do. How to connect with my future self if I have a hard time visualizing her? Yeah, well, anonymous attendee, my suggestion is just like I said, if you have a hard time visualizing, try to go sort of diary version. Like, I wake up, I make myself a cup of coffee, I go downstairs. Because when we do these things, it's still based on our lives that we have them now, but like with the tweaks and changes that we want to see. So I would definitely suggest that you do that you write one of those diary things. That's my suggestion. What else? Don't you have any more questions? No more questions? I'll wait some seconds and see if something else pops up. Will I be the same person now and in the future? I don't really understand that question. Well, of course you will be the same person, but you will also be a very different person, depending on what you're trying to create, for sure. If you will be the same person, can you specify? See if there is an answer. Oh, will all the changes make me into someone else? No, of course not. This is so funny because when I talk to my clients and we talk about what they want to change in their lives and how we talk about like deep stuff, like how you relate to other people, how you start to put yourself in the center instead of squishing everybody in and yourself out. They're like, oh, but if I do all of those things, I will turn into an egocentric narcissist. And no, you won't. You won't, I promise. So you will keep all of the magnificence of you, but you will change the ways that you want to see changed. You don't change in ways you don't want to change, I promise. But this is a quite common worry that I see my ladies come across, because we work very much with like the self-trust, taking care of yourself, being your own best friend, and putting yourself in the center. And this is so foreign for many of my clients. So they think they will turn into something completely different. They think they will be self-centered and egocentric and just think about themselves. That never happens unless you want to, of course. So don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. Okay. Any other questions for me, sweeties? Doesn't look like it. But hey, you guys, then if you don't have any more questions, we're going to round up a little bit more. And I'm going to tell you, if you want more of me, then if you're Swedish, you can go to annawallner.se and you can see how I work with people. Right now, I'm letting people into my first group of business mindset. It's called. It's a 12-week coaching program. And it's also a community for women that wants to reach their visions, and we'll do it together. And the fantastic thing with that thing is that once you're in, you're in, and then you will have access to me for like the foreseeable future, which is so good. And you will have that through the network that we have within the program. So even though you complete the 12-week program, you will have the network and the course, and you will have alumni coaching every month, and you can ask me questions and we will stay connected. And you will also have all your network sisters cheering you on and everything. So that's fantastic. So that group is starting on the 8th of November. I will keep it an extremely small and tight group. So if you want to get in, I would suggest that you book a consultation with me through my website. You can do that if you go to annawallner.se and then you go to business mindset program. You will see at the far down, you can book a consultation. So go and do that. You don't want to miss it. And for all you lovely English speaking people, you will get a hold of me here on the Life Coach University twice a month, where I will do these talks. And I think the Life Coach University has some exciting things coming up apart from that. So stay tuned. If you would really want to work with me one-on-one, you can. I do take private clients internationally. So if you want to do that, you should go to my website, which is annawallner.se. And then you scroll all the way down. And then in the footer, it says contact with a K, not a C. And there you have my email. So write me an email. We'll set something up. I would love to work with you. I can for sure help you. So with that said, I just want to leave you with the pay it forward. How are you going to pay this forward to someone else? How will you help someone else by the things you learned today, or ideas you had, or I don't know? It's up to you. But that's the only thing we ask from the Life Coach University, is that you pay it forward, because it will change the world. And that is what we're trying to do through this platform. So before you go onto your weekend, go up on lifecoachuniversity.com and scroll through all the webinars that are available to you and book yourself into the ones that you feel are relevant, because we really want to see more of you, right? So with that, my friends, we're stopping a little bit early. So if you don't have any more questions, I am going to see. It says I have another open question. Where is that? Maybe I need to scroll. Here it says, oh, here. Life Coach University has officially launched the International Pay It Forward Week. I didn't know that. Please share how you pay it forward so we can celebrate you all. That's so good. I didn't actually know that. That was news that passed me. So do that. That's fantastic. We love that. So have a wonderful, wonderful weekend, everybody. And you will get the replay so you can do all the exercises again, so you can work out how you become your own best mentor. So love you all. Take care and love. What do you say? Hugs and kisses. That's what you say. Hugs and kisses.